Hi. So I wanted to take the opportunity to answer the discussion questions. So the first question asks, what are three ideas from the discussion post in the first half of the course that resonated the most with you? Well, first of all, I must respond that I really just enjoy these discussion posts because of perspectives. It is so nice to be among a group of educators at various age groups, at various stages in their career. There's some beginning, there's some kind of in the end, there's some smack dab in the middle, and all of us are finding our way. All of us are wanting to learn. So that's so encouraging. And that's what I love about the discussion posts, just a variety of perspectives. My ones that really stood out to me were the ones where they interviewed the teacher leaders. The first one that really stuck out to me was there was a teacher who was observing a teacher across the hall, and she observed that teacher across the hall, and she was making comments about how that teacher respected children as individuals, how that teacher planned well, how that teacher advocated for the children as individuals. And that spoke volumes to me, not only what a leader that teacher across the hall was, but it also shows you that someone is always watching. So I don't know that that teacher across the hall had any idea that this other teacher was watching her. But here, this teacher is watching her and getting all that feedback from her just by watching her daily um, habits. She spoke about how this teacher spoke well of her students, how she advocated on behalf of her students, how she was always putting them first. These are practices that that teacher did without knowing someone was watching. And so that's really powerful. That shows that the choices that we make are really reflective of our beliefs and that they do influence who we are as teachers. And that's what made her stand out. Another thing another that really resonated with me in the discussion post was one teacher spoke about how her teacher leader always built her confidence. Her teacher leader always was, even though this teacher had a lot of doubt, and she was like, well, I'm not really sure. Are you sure I'm doing the right thing? And this teacher leader was always speaking confidence into her that as long as you're trying, your best is good enough. You are helping your kids. Your attitude is what's best. And that's amazing. That speaks to me that as a leader, you must not only believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing, but also believe in other people as well. So those were two very things that were very important to me, ideas that resonated with me from that discussion post. Other ideas from the discussion post came from the readings, like reflecting into the readings. The readings talked a lot about kind of the morphing of teacher leaders now. So many of those articles that we read talked about how um, traditionally teacher leader expectations and requirements, et cetera, came from those outside of the classroom. I specifically really enjoyed that article that compared traditional university led research to inquiry and action research, and how these two are unique and distinctive because one is theory and university professors, etc., studying about something, but the other is the teacher ignited by our passion, our inquiry, our concern, and then feeding that into a form of research that gives us results and comparing that, and because that drive is what leads us into that inquiry. So that was really powerful for me. It's something that I am actually trying in my own life. I'm trying to make the shifts from so much computer to more nature led. I'm doing lots of research. I'm trying to infuse it in my lessons daily. And I'm trying to open my own school where it's more nature led. But in order to get there, I have to ensure that every time I do a try, I really examine the results and really what is the purpose of what I'm doing? What is my why? And are my results supporting what I believe the findings should be? What are my results? So that's super important. Um, and so that is really what resonated with me with the readings from the first half of the course, that and the morphing of teacher leadership. So the questions that still linger for me, and it's interesting because one of my other colleagues here in the class, one of the peers asked the same question. If teacher leadership is morphing from within the classroom and it's classroom teachers with more buy in, with more beliefs, with more experience, that's wonderful. And that we are kind of taking those leadership roles and evolving into those leaders. Specifically, are we receiving training that's targeted towards leadership? Or are we just kind of a collective of our results that we have gained? Are we just kind of relying on our experience? There has to be a bar. There has to be a leaders must. There's got to be some standard. And I feel that traditionally that standard was the way that you took administrative courses, administrative this, but now we see, according to this reading, that there's another cyclical kind of approach coming in through experience. Does that approach match this? Are they one and the same so that the results are the same? This is my question.